Sunshines! So today I am here to talk to you about The Glittering Court by Richelle Mead. The makeup that I'm wearing today is actually inspired by The Glittering Court, so if this is something that interests you, stay tuned because this makeup look should be going live on my channel on Tuesday. So quick disclaimer, I just have to throw it out there that by posting this review of The Glittering Court, I am being entered into a giveaway. The publisher, Penguin Teen, has invited me to do an honest review of this book, and in turn, they are entering me into a giveaway. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a disclaimer. Any sort of giveaway, compensation, what have you, never affects the way that I review books for you guys, though. My reviews are always going to be 100% honest and completely my true opinions. Without further ado, shall we start the review? I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Too cheesy, moving on. So first of all, I just wanted to note that yes, there is a beautiful girl in a pretty dress on the cover of this book, but in this case, there is a very good reason. This whole business actually has a lot to do with this story. Go figure, right? So let's talk about The Glittering Court. The Glittering Court is the construct of the Thorne family. Cedric, who is also one of our main characters, his father and his uncle created the Glittering Court to give a select group of girls a shot at a life that they otherwise wouldn't have. Essentially taking poor and impoverished working class girls and teaching them how to be glamorous, well-mannered, fit into a life of leisure and luxury that will be waiting for them across the sea in the New World. The setting of this book is, at first, in the very beginning, inspired by Elizabethan England, sort of. And those are definitely the vibes you get. There's a lot of stone churches. The New World definitely had vibes of colonial America, so think like Virginia and Jamestown and the colonists colonizing America. The world that this book takes place in is definitely not a real place. It is completely the construct of Richelle Mead's mind, but it has inspirations drawn from places that are familiar to us. And I thought the world was very well built. Okay, so now on to our main characters. First up, we have our main character, Adelaide. Adelaide is 18 years old. She is well-to-do and high-born into a well-off family. That is until her parents die, and at the place we meet her in this story, she is living with her grandmother, and their wealth is depleting. They're having to sell estates and lay off their hired help. There's sort of a fear that they might not have some of the luxuries that they're used to having if things keep going in this direction. So kind of their only hope is for Adelaide to marry Rich. This is not something that Adelaide is super interested in because Adelaide is very interested in forming her own path. Enter Cedric Thorne. Cedric Thorne is our other main character, and yes, he is the love interest. Cedric Thorne is charming and beautiful and used to being able to convince people to see his way in an argument, and instantly Adelaide is quite taken by him. Adelaide meets Cedric when he comes into her home one day to pitch the Glittering Court, and then and there she decides that the Glittering Court is her ticket to an opportunity at the life that she always wanted. So she decides to pose as a servant and allow herself to be whisked away by the Glittering Court and all of the life and opportunities and challenges that come along with that. One of the challenges that comes along with posing as a servant and going into the Glittering Court is that she has to hide her true identity from everyone, including the two girls that she is set to room with. One of the girls' names is Mira. She is a mysterious refugee. She's very soft-spoken, very sweet, wears her heart on her sleeve, but she's very strong and strong-willed in a very quiet kind of way. And then we have Tasman, who is the opposite of Mira in almost every way. She is super outspoken, a little bit neurotic, very type A, very orderly and gets things done. She knows what she wants and she has decided she knows how she wants to get it. It's sort of interesting to see how they're thrown together. Even though unlikely, they become really good friends. So like I said, Adelaide is very taken with Cedric, and it isn't long after being in the Glittering Court house that Adelaide begins to fall for Cedric. And it isn't long after that that Cedric actually discovers Adelaide's true identity and the secret that she's been keeping this whole time. So I am going to stop there. I do not want to give too much away. That is as much as you can read on the internet. You can find it in synopses and reviews, so I haven't spoiled anything. The Glittering Court comes out on April 5th, I believe, of this year. Very, very exciting, and it is the first book in a trilogy. This is the first book, and it's told from Adelaide's perspective, but the other 2 books in this series are actually going to be told from the other girls' perspectives. So we're going to get to hear Mira's perspective as well as Tasman's perspective. And when I first heard that, I wasn't quite sure how compelling or interesting that sort of a way to tell this story would be. But now that I've read The Glittering Court, I completely understand it. There are so many, not gaps, but kind of gaps. Like, seeing the whole thing from Adelaide's perspective is not the entire story. We're just missing pieces that happen through Mira's eyes and through Tasman's eyes, and the only way to get those perspectives is to hear the story from their side. It was a really fun read. Instantly, we hit the ground running. I was enveloped in the story. I wanted to know what was going to happen. There were villainous characters, there were villainous situations, there was adventure, there were plot twists, there was mystery and intrigue and romance and friendship even, and I really enjoyed this book. I think the only thing that kind of bothered me a little bit about it, but after I started reading it and really got into it and was like in the story, it didn't bother me as much, is the fact that while these girls are going to the New World to get married, they're sort of, through the Glittering Court, they're sort of paraded around in front of these would-be suitors, these would-be eligible men, if you will. A courtship does happen between the men who are interested in certain girls in the house, but the weird part is that the men actually pay for the girls. They call it a commission, so like Cedric and his father and his uncle will all get a commission for each of the girls that they successfully marry into a contract. I think that was the only part that was a little bit weird for me, but if you think about how arranged marriages were back in those days, as it were, because it isn't really set in any particular time period, but kind of back then, it's sort of like a dowry, I guess. It's just in reverse, where the men pay the Glittering Court for the privilege of marrying one of the girls. So that was the only thing that kind of bothered me a little bit because of that idea of like selling the girls to the men. Like I said, I kind of got used to it. It kind of felt natural the more that I read it, but yeah, that was the only thing that was like a little bit weird. Overall, I gave this book a 3.5 stars on Goodreads, although actually now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I feel like I might be more leaning toward a 4 because I really did enjoy this book. So there you guys have it. That is my review of The Glittering Court by Richelle Mead. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. I know this book isn't out for about another month or so, but when it is, come back and let me know what your thoughts were about the book. And like I said, this makeup look will be posted on Tuesday, so be sure to watch for that as well. If you like seeing more reviews and more makeup looks inspired by books, be sure to click the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a video from me. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! Cosmetics, and this color that I'm using on my lips is a combination of somewhat arrogant, a little bit of a drunkard, definitely a thief, flirts with everything.